only done. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Yo, C3 Panther faithful, what's going on? It's Cody Lashley coming to you again with another edition of the C3 Panthers Podcast. Scott Fitterer is going to be doing a very interesting press conference, man. When CJ Stroud and Will Levis are in the building, Fitterer is doing a press conference, man. So this ought to be interesting. We will be watching the press conferences of Scott Fitterer, Assistant General Manager Dan Morgan, and Director of College Scouting Cole Spencer. And that'll be at 12 o'clock. So we got 30 minutes to kill. So I figured I would invite the homies to hang out and talk some Panthers before we get started. First up, my man Anthony Piccarello. Anthony, what's up, dude?
What's going on, my man? Yeah, I just thought I'd stop in and, shoot the shit about what's going on. We got a press conference today, so hopefully Fitterer will say at this point in time that, he's got a guy. I mean, he probably won't tell us who, but it'll be interesting to see what he says, so.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, man. Riz B already talking shit to me in the chat. Bro, I'm never emotional, man. If Bryce is the man, and it seems as though Bryce is the man, I'm going to welcome him with open arms. You know what I'm saying? And right now, it does look like that's what's going to happen. Like Bryce Young is going to be the next franchise quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Next up from enemy territory, he's down there rocking in New Orleans. My guy, Chad. Chad, what's up, dude?
I'm looking at that piece of shit city right now. And little do Saints fans know is that Carolina is going to become the big brother of the NFC South for years to come. 9 more days, guys. 9 more days.
Sir. Yes, sir. 9 more days, and we can finally put this seemingly never-ending debate to bed. Next up, my man is in a lunch line right now, but he don't care, man. He's going to come in and talk some shit about the Carolina Panthers. White Chocolate Espresso. Kev, what up?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Chilling.
Cool. Just grab my mic. About to listen to the press conference.
Yeah, man, you're cool. If anybody would like to hit that like and subscribe button, we're getting close to we're trying to hit 6,000 subscribers. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys. And as soon as the press conferences go up, I'm going to be live streaming it on the channel. So keep it tuned here, man. We're going to be hanging out and talking about everything said at these press conferences. But boys,
I've got a
yeah. Go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say, what do y'all anticipate? What do y'all anticipate from this press conference that we're about to watch? What kind of questions do y'all think are going to be asked? Have they narrowed it down to one quarterback? Are they still deciding between 2 or 3? Or what are y'all thinking this is going to be about?
So this is just my opinion, and chat room, let me know yours. I expect the questions to be along the lines of, especially after free agency, what kind of holes do they still envision being on the roster right now? We all know that Fitterer loves to trade back, so I think they're probably going to ask him the possibility that they will attempt to move backward in the draft, try and pick up some more draft capital, and what that entails, what he values at the quarterback position, which we know they're not going to say who they're picking, but, the kind of things that they're looking for. And they're probably going to ask if they've already made their mind up. Like, do they know right now who they're picking, who they're picking at number 1? So basically just kind of like draft strategy, free agents. That's another thing. Like, what are some other free agent possibilities that might still be out there for the Panthers, and at what positions?
Yeah, I was really hoping that Scott Fitterer will give us a little intel on, what kind of positions he's looking for in the draft, but I know they don't give that away because you don't want to
Right.
give your strategy away. But there's definitely still some holes on the team, so I think there's stuff we got to address still, even after the draft, maybe sign a veteran free agent or two.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying the name Leonard Floyd. That's but we're all kind of assuming that pick 39, that's where you're going to get another edge rusher, either another edge rusher or another outside linebacker. There's a lot of options at that pick 39. I mean, and now that we all kind of feel like we know that Bryce is the number one pick, I mean, really 39 is the most interesting pick in the draft. Like what position do we go? Do we just go best player available? I know Scott Fitterer has said that in between picks 22 and 45, that's like the sweet spot of the draft. So he has a lot of value in that area of the draft. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Do y'all think that there could be a possible player trade for a pick during the draft? Because that happens sometimes. Like, not something big, but like maybe one of our players from the Matt Rule regime gets traded for a draft pick.
Yeah.
Like, that's possible too.
What player?
Well,
Go ahead, Chad.
I really, Anthony, that's a great freaking question, dude, because that's one thing that I kind of wanted to ask. What now? I know that I know the motto is Brian Burns, no, absolutely not. But what if we could what if the draft falls and Houston takes a quarterback and not an edge rusher with the second pick, and we call Houston, and Houston, hey, we want are y'all interested in Brian Burns? We'll give you Burns for the 12th overall pick. Yeah, now I know that's probably very unlikely, but could that be a possibility? But really, great
No, I
question.
mean Burns to me is the most he's the most important guy on the roster right now because he's the only Carolina Panther that you can even make the argument is borderline elite. That's like he's the best, most talented player on the team right now. So go ahead, Mike Chocolate. What'd you say?
I would say he's probably the most safe, like when it comes to trading away or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also have to think about this, right? We declined to trade for him. There was way more than that. So they clearly value him at a high stature. So
yeah.
they're not going to trade him for that probably. I was thinking more on the lines like a CJ Henderson type. Yeah, a CJ Henderson or Matt Corral, like just an unknown player. I mean, maybe Matt Corral gets traded. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, but say, Cody, unknown player.
I mean, yeah, Matt. He's not wrong. Matt Corral is unknown. It's not his fault that he is unknown. But I mean, I don't know if you're another team that valued Matt Corral highly, in the draft a year ago. Well, then maybe they wouldn't mind giving up a fifth round or a sixth round pick. It's certainly not going to be a lot because he's coming off of a Liz Frank injury, and he hasn't had a lot of playing time at all. He's never taken a snap in an actual game time situation. So maybe I just don't know what kind of value he would be able to fetch you right now. You mentioned CJ Henderson. I don't know. It's so tough to know what they think about CJ Henderson because there were times when he was okay last year, and then there were times when man was just garbage. Like it did not look good for CJ Henderson. So another thing is you never know if the player that you're trading away is going to be better or worse than the unproven guy that you're getting ready to draft. You just don't know.
Well, here's the only.
I'll be willing to risk it.
There's two things from this. Like you just said, like you don't want to trade away an unknown player thinking they'll be good on the next team. Well, that's kind of what we did with CJ Henderson, right? Like we traded with him with the mindset that he would be better than what he was on Jacksonville. But I think the big thing here is that Scott Fitterer, this is his first draft where Matt Rule doesn't have final say on anything. So
Yeah,
this draft could look just completely different from what we've seen in the last 2 or
that's
3
a
years.
great point, Anthony. That's a fantastic point. This year is going to be the year when we really see what Scott Fitterer is capable of as general manager. He doesn't have that absolute rube in the form of Matt Rule calling shots and having final roster control. I've been a fan of Fitterer for a long time. You know, a lot of people wanted him fired for the Sam Darnold trade and CJ Henderson and all these different things. But man, like I believe that he's done a pretty damn good job in a very short amount of time under some less than stellar circumstances. So I have no reason to not believe in Fitterer going forward. A lot of people are saying they like them some Fitterer. My guy Drew in the chat room. What's up, Drew? Morgan McDonald says I think Fit had more control during last year's draft. It was solid. Yeah, no doubt. And by the way, if a guy like Brady Christensen continues to be a starter on this offensive line and a valued piece of our offensive line, that's a third-round pick. Dude, that's a gem. You have to find starters in the later rounds, and that's important.
2 things real quick. One, I don't know if Pickle's in the chat, but we are bringing in Byron Young from Tennessee, the edge, for a visit. And
Nice.
yeah, outside linebacker. And then what was I gonna say? Crap. I literally forgot. Let me retrain my thought.
That's all good. So let me ask you all this to everyone in here, to everyone in the chat room. Like, what are you expecting from this press conference today, if anything at all? Like, I know Chad asked what we expect to hear, but is there something that you would like to hear? Is there a specific question that you would want asked? What are we hoping for today?
Just come out and say who the first pick is going to be.
Okay, I remember what I wanted to say quickly. This is off topic, but we need to address more interior offensive linemen if Bryce Young is the pick. Like, I've just been thinking about it a lot too, and you were right when you said that like weeks ago that, you know, we need offensive line like in the middle. Yeah. But I don't think they're gonna say that because like Roger Goodell, I forget who said it, but like Roger Goodell wants it to be a mystery, even though it kind of leaks on like Twitter and like there's a lot of clues of who the first pick is gonna be like a week or so before the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, are they really going to say anything at this thing?
I mean, they're gonna say something. I mean, they're choosing to have a press conference. Like, I mean, we got
going to talk around things and like, oh yeah, they're never going to give you a straight answer. What's the point of the press conference? Really?
Yeah, I mean, but that's why I said earlier. It seems to me like they're going to, you know, they're basically going to ask about free agency moves, their draft philosophy, whether or not they're going to be looking to trade down or up, just all those different scenarios. And let me ask you all this. I'm going to ask Anthony and White Chocolate, but I want the chat room to tell me too, man. CJ Stroud's stock has taken a pretty legendary tumble. And I mean, the draft has not happened as of yet, but the once, you know, potential number 1 overall pick, he's not even the Vegas betting favorite to go number 2. Anthony, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I believe Will Anderson has better odds at number 2 to Houston than Stroud right now, right?
Yeah, and the crazy thing is Will Levis does too. Like, so this is just a smear. Dude. Like, this is crazy. But I will say this. Every team has a different draft board. Like, when you go, shout out to One Carolina, he said this. Yeah. When the Camp Confidential comes out, we'll probably see how they order these quarterbacks and like what they rank everyone. Like, so the Texans valuing Will Levis higher than Stroud doesn't mean that Will Levis is a better player. He just may fit more of what they want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't even think Stroud, like I've been saying, I think it was a 1A, 1B situation. Stroud was probably behind Young by a little bit. So he's probably not going to go past 4 though. You have to think about it. There's what Indianapolis and Seattle are probably going to take quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think he's gonna have a fall like Justin Fields did. Like what Fields fell to like 13 or 14 or something like that.
I
Like
will
Justin
say,
Fields kind of fell a lot. Go ahead, Kev.
if we could have traded up with Arizona and still got CJ and kept DJ, I'm going to kind of feel a certain way. Unless Bryce Young is that like greater than CJ, then that's going to hurt.
Yeah. No, and I hear that. You know, especially if you feel like you could have gotten a franchise guy without having to give up one of the best young players on your football team. Absolutely. By the way, just some notes. The press conference is set to start at 12 in around 15 minutes here. So as soon as that goes live, we're going to have it right here. You'll be able to listen to it. By the way, 193 people in the chat room already. Man, you guys are awesome. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. We appreciate y'all. My question is like, I've been a believer that there is a smear campaign going on for CJ Stroud. Like they're trying to devalue him a little bit. Do you guys think that's true, or do you think that maybe he's bombing the interview process and he's not maybe as up to speed as people once thought he was? Like, I don't know. This has been one of the most interesting stories to follow in the draft, in my opinion.
I don't think he's falling because of any of the play on the field or anything. I honestly think they have something against Ohio State quarterbacks. Yeah. Because I'm going to go out and say, I'm going to come out and say it. Because even as me being a Bryce Young guy, I thought CJ Stroud was the pick for about, 4 or 5 weeks now?
Yeah.
Like, legit. Felt like that. Like, I felt like that he was the lock. So clearly something's going on. Clearly some team that couldn't trade up to 1 or even 3, probably costing too much, is trying to get him to fall because they know that, he's still a really good prospect. We could get a lot out of him.
Yeah.
I remember when Andy Dalton was coming out and leaked that when somebody from some random team said they were worried about drafting him because he was a redhead and redheads don't work out.
Hey, dude, what South Park say? Redheads have no soul, right? They were just born without one.
So like you don't know what these owners are like.
Yeah, I just looked it up. He was a second-round pick, and he started from day one. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Dude, Dalton, people want to shit on Andy Dalton, but you can do a lot worse at quarterback than Andy Dalton. And dare I say, I think we have the best, whenever we draft our guy, if we have a room of Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, and Matt Corral, dude, that's a fire quarterback room. Like, I don't know about y'all. You could do a whole lot worse than that, in my humble opinion. So
I remember my cousins wanted to do what Cincinnati did, which was draft AJ Green number 1 overall and get Andy Dalton.
Oh, wow, really?
I'll take him.
Yeah, that might be a bridge a little too far for me. But, hey, I mean, I get the sentiment, I like position value is everything. And if you have a top-flight wide receiver sitting there, maybe you would do that. I don't know.
Maybe them two would have done better in Carolina than they did in Cincinnati.
Dude, they were a good duo together, Dalton and AJ Green. Like, they were really good, honestly, back in the day.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, dude, people forget that 2015 season, there were 3 teams that made it for a long time undefeated that year. And the Bengals were one of them. For a long time that year, they were rolling. They were undefeated.
That defense?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that was just a horrible watch.
Vontaze Burfict, Pac-Man Jones.
It was about to be the first playoff win in like 10 or 12 years. Probably longer. I think it was like 30, right?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Joe Burrow's got the most playoff wins for them in history. He's only been a 2-year starter pretty much.
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah.
Was his probably Boomer Esiason his last quarterback to win.
Yeah. So our guy CJA says a little T for this morning. Quite a few of our scouts had Stroud QB4. I'm talking about our scouts, not our coaches. Yeah, and another thing that was told to me is that a lot of these scouts, like a scout is an entry-level position. So a scout, just because they have the name NFL scout connected to them, doesn't necessarily mean they even know what the fuck they're talking about. But hey, I'm not saying that that's wrong. I mean, I kind of think what Anthony said holds some weight. That Ryan Day offense at Ohio State, I don't know. I just don't think that they value that as much as some other offenses, which is also, it's kind of wild to me because it's not like it's a spread offense. Like they're doing NFL style things. They're putting CJ Stroud under center from time to time. It's not like it's a one read only type of system. Don't make them go through their progressions, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. They're not, John. They're not legit.
No, scout, dude. The worst are the mock draft people. They never get that shit right. Like every But anyways, no. I think that people just don't like how Ryan Day kind of controls. Like the part about quarterback is you got to learn on your own. So I think that if he lets CJ play more openly, like that's the thing with Justin Fields. I didn't know that he was a runner. Like I didn't know that he could really run until he got to the NFL.
Yeah.
If they let him do that in college, he probably would have gone second overall, right? Because he would have been looked at as like a dual threat quarterback. So I'm just saying I don't think Ryan Day lets these quarterbacks show their full arsenal when they're in college.
Yeah. So the press conference is up. Whenever it goes live, you're going to be able to see it here. I appreciate everybody telling me in the chat. Sean Gomez, appreciate you, man. 213 people, man. We appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe. And yes, we're going to shut up when the press conference comes on. We're not going to talk over them. I'll put comments up on the screen, but we'll listen to everything that's said. Maybe some minor comments, but we'll let you hear, okay? Quit complaining. But yeah, man. I don't know. Thinking about this entire draft, like there's a lot of questions I have. Jalen Carter, is he gonna fall? I've heard now that there are at least 3 teams that have taken Carter completely off the draft board. I wonder how far he's gonna fall.
Dude,
I'm here in Atlanta.
Dude, yes, I don't want him going to Atlanta, bro. I don't want that. Like, I hope someone takes him. Either it's 5, 6, or 7. Like, I hope the Lions take him, honestly. I couldn't see him in Atlanta. That would suck.
Yeah. And Mike, I hear you, buddy. Like, I'm a firm believer that sometimes we can do this thing where we count the system against the quarterback too much. It happened to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was in a spread offense, and everybody thought that, he just had receivers wide open, that he wasn't having NFL type of things happening around him. So he ended up getting devalued because of it. It's not fair, but that's how people evaluate. And especially when you have had so many quarterbacks come from Ohio State that either went on to be a bust or just did nothing in the NFL. Like right now, we're still out on Justin Fields. I think we should give him a little more time before we judge whether he's a bust or not. I don't think it will be. I think him and DJ Moore are going to be great with one another. But, that kind of stuff unfairly gets held against people. And, hey, Donnie Lynn with the $5 super sticker. You're the man, Donnie. I appreciate you, bro.
Quick thing on Patrick Mahomes. He was supposed to be a New Orleans Saint. So thank the Chiefs for that one. Because Sean Payton came out and said if he was at pick 11, they would have taken him. And that would have been terrible.
Why Big Jordan? Jay Issue wants to know if you have a Buccaneers flag behind your head, Anthony.
Oh, yeah, no. So my dad went to that playoff game for Tom Brady's last game. So he just brought that back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a family heirloom.
It's literally just a collector's item or whatever. Like he just went to the stadium and they gave it to him. I'm
All right,
not a
that's
Bucks
cool.
fan. Yeah,
That's cool. Well, the chat, they're gonna roast you.
dude.
But,
Yeah,
hey,
it's
you're cool with
completely
me.
it's
Hey,
completely
you
fine.
and Cody have something in common.
Oh,
Dude,
shut up!
no.
I'll kick your ass off the stream so fast.
Kev got rid of the picture.
Thank God.
I can bring it back up. Even.
I'm tired of seeing my my ugly, angry face in that fucking jersey. But whatever, man. Josh said I knew Anthony was a spy. Oh no, we have a double agent, man.
Nah.
I remember being a kid and wearing my cousin's Cordell Stewart jersey from the Steelers.
Cordell Stewart was pretty good for a time.
Yeah, Slash.
Was that the last quarterback the Steelers had before Roethlisberger?
No, Maddox. Because he
Oh.
started that year before Roethlisberger, his rookie year.
Oh, see, I barely even remember that. Like at
Yeah,
all.
hurt and Roethlisberger came in.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Maddox was in the XFL.
Dude, I remember when I first moved to Charlotte when I was a teenager. There were so many stupid commercials with Jake Delhomme in it that I didn't like Jake Delhomme just because of the commercials. Like, God, he had this one Blue Cross Blue Shield commercial that just ran on repeat forever, man. I was like, God, is this guy more famous for selling commercials or playing football?
You know how Cam Newton made you a Panther fan? Well, Jake Delhomme made me a Panther fan. Because that was the first game was when he came in for Rodney Peete.
Nice. Yeah, man. Everybody has their jumping on point. To me, you're only a bandwagon fan if you're jumping on and off of the fandom. Like, whenever you started, that's fine. But as long as you don't go away after you become a fan. And that's something that I've never done. Panther Pickle, I saw him say this in the chat around the free-for-all chat. He says with the Falcons taking a pass rusher, those they have signed, I'm all for spending that 39th pick on tight end Washington if he's available because he's the best blocking tight end and can catch. I would love Darnell Washington. A big, strong, physical tight end like that from Georgia. Dude, Darnell, I would be fine with Darnell Washington.
I honestly don't think we're taking an offensive player in the second pick, though.
If we did though, he'd probably be an amazing red zone threat because he's so big. You can just throw the ball up to him, and he'll just.
I'm just thinking about all the free agents we picked up. Like they're all offensive guys, so it makes me think there's going to be a defensive heavy draft.
No, I agree. I think the offense is in better position than the defense at this point. That's on it. Like I think Evero's a good coach, but I think we just have more holes on the defense.
Yeah, but also I'm not mad at the idea of surround your young rookie quarterback with as much high-end talent as possible. You know, like even though I wouldn't take a receiver, if they feel like there's a receiver that they love, I'm not going to cry and complain about it, you know, especially somebody like Darnell Washington. He can do it all. And if y'all saw that one-handed catch at the combine, like, dude, the dude has, and even on film, he has the ability to track the ball. Like, the guy can find the ball in the air and bring it down. So
I just don't think they're going to reach. They're like, we brought these guys in just so we don't have to reach.
If we don't draft Washington, I want to draft Cameron Latu in the 6th round. Because every time you can get a player to play with a player in college, they already have that chemistry together.
So look, we have 228 people watching right now. Post what you think is the biggest need. The biggest need. What position is the biggest need in this year's draft? I want to see him in the chat, and I'll put him up here. G baby, I'm gonna drop the link in the free for all chat.
All right, Cody, my lunch break is over, but I'll be listening.
All right, get back to work, you bum.
You get a job.
All right, later, bro.
Later.
See you, Kevin.
Quarterback. Well, yeah, obviously the quarterback. Edge. I'm seeing a lot of corner, and that's something I've been hearing a lot too, Anthony, is that people really want to upgrade this corner position.
Yeah, I agree. I think our safety and our linebackers are fine. Like, you have a bunch of safeties and people you can rotate around. But it's just, for like when you do want to blitz, who do you trust besides JC Horn to play that man-to-man coverage? Like, that's really the question you got to ask yourself. So
Yeah.
I think we do need a cornerback.
By the
Like,
way,
that is a must get.
Joe Riolano, one of the founders of the C3 Panthers Podcast, in the building. Love you, Joey. Happy to see you in here, brother. Yeah, man. I'm also seeing some O-line people as well. Yeah, but I'm kind of agreeing with this, Dan. Defensive end, linebacker, or a corner. Yeah, those seem to be the ones that come up the most.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
All right, here we go. All three of them at once.
Lost of sleep. All right. Yeah. Way to start it off. Just want to say, this is an exciting time for the organization. To have the number one pick is a big thing. But I do think it's about the whole weekend. It's about, all the picks throughout this draft. It's about the college free agency.
Tell me if y'all can hear.
It's just a great time for our
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it.
It is fun to have the number one pick. Obviously on TV a lot. There's a lot of talk about it, but guys have done a ton of work on it, and we're prepared. I want to thank David and Nicole for all the resources they gave us. The spring. It took a lot to go out all these pro days back to back to back. So they really supported us, and really thank them for that. Frank and I, they've given us the authority to make the decision. I just want to thank them for that. So, and with that, I do want to, acknowledge the scouts. A lot of times they get overlooked. They, they do all the work during the season. We're out, taking care of the team during the season. Free agency, these guys are on the road away from their family. So I appreciate them. Really appreciate Cole Spencer. We trust him to run the college side. He's done a great job for us, and really appreciate your work there. So with that, I'm excited for the weekend coming up. I think we're ready, and college scouts are in town. We're finishing up the board. We'll meet with the coaches this week, and then it's draft week. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
So do you know who you're going to take, or when did you settle on it?
No, process. Obviously through this whole since February, the combine, everything else, there's been some clarity, but we've made a conscious effort to be open mind about this, be continuous throughout the process. We have the last kind of group in today. We have the coaches, Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and at that point, we'll get together and kind of make that decision. But we've got some clarity through this process.
With that said, Scott, we saw yesterday that Bryce canceled his last visit. Has there been communication to him that he's the pick?
No, there is not. And, that was a decision he made on his own. And I just refer you to, his reps and to Bryce as to why.
You guys took a big group to those pro days. Can you kind of walk us through how that decision-making process is going to go? Like, you guys taking votes, yay or nay, putting them down. How's that going to work?
No, this is a collaborative process, and it's not just, Frank and myself making this decision. We want to involve Thomas Brown. We want to involve Josh. We want to involve, Parks Frazier and Jim Caldwell. We have a lot of great minds in this organization. And, we'd be remiss not to use those, all those voices. There's a lot of football knowledge. So we've included all of the coaches, all of our personnel staff, just to make the most informed decision.
Scott, you talked about, you definitely want to get a quarterback. And there's 4 guys you're looking at. Have you trimmed that number down from 4 at all? Or
no, again, that's part of that continuous process. We are consciously trying to, keep all 4 in there so we can ask every question, look at it from every angle to make sure we're making the right decision. This is a big decision for the organization We don't want to lock on to something early on just to decide that's our guy. We want to keep this process open all the way through.
How much has your perspective changed on each guy as you've gone from?
If y'all can't hear, I can switch to Twitter real quick if y'all want me
We learned a
to.
lot about him.
Y'all got to tell me now.
We knew a lot about him through our scouts and through third-party sources. This spring, whether it's an all-star game or combine or having dinner with them or having them in the building, you learn something new about a guy every time you sit with them.
I'm going to switch real quick. Stay there.
How much does that play into the way you evaluate a player?
Yeah, I mean, it's all a piece of the puzzle, right? It's not the end-all, be-all. It's just something you take into account with all the other attributes that the player has. But no, it's not one. It's not a disqualifier or anything like that.
Is it an added discussion though?
Yeah, I mean, we discuss everything about the player, so it's not just size, it's not just arm strength or accuracy. We talk about it all, but it's a small piece of the puzzle.
It is what it is, y'all. That's the sound. I got it all the way up on both.
For somebody in particular, how different is it kind of having to maybe go through the process a little bit more in that fact and have more options on the table?
Well, we felt strongly about a group of guys up there, and we knew this is something we wanted to do. We wanted to be aggressive and go up and do this. I think through this process, we made the right decision. I feel really good about going from 9 to 1. I'd hate to be at 9 right now trying to figure this out. So I know we made the right decision to go up. We're going through the right process of being thorough, checking every box that we can. And the next step is going to be execution on draft day and giving these guys the resources they need beyond that to be successful. But when we made the move, we did, feel strongly that there'd be a guy there that we wanted.
Scott, and actually for all three of you guys, it's a lot that's been made, obviously, Bryce Young's height. And you just went through a season where you had a quarterback who struggled with you mentioned getting balls batted down.
Yeah.
Is that any reservation at all?
Turn your volume up.
If not, why?
Well, I would say this. When Russell Wilson came out, I think he had 3 balls batted down his senior year. Bryce had 2. So if you're talking just about Bryce, this doesn't seem to be an issue. When you grow up, a shorter quarterback, you learn how to, evolve your game and adapt and see the field. And he's done that. Just like CJ's, evolved his game. Will's evolved his game. They all develop, and there's certain tools that they have, and they learn to play to their strength, and they've all done that.
Yeah, to me, it's a lot more. It's not about so much the height. You got to have those pocket instincts, your ability to slide, find passing lanes. So you got to look at other things like that, and then obviously how smart and how well a quarterback sees the field is also important. So you got to take more than.
Is that Dan Morgan?
Yep. Hold up, G.
Obviously, it's a team collaboration, scouts, and Dan, and Frank, and everyone else. But at the end of the day, if there is a disagreement on one quarterback or the other, is it you have the final say, so you have
Who has the tiebreaker? They're asking.
I look at it as Frank and I will make that decision. I don't anticipate that at all. I haven't yet asked him yet, but we were laughing the other day because it's becoming clear for us, maybe a certain way that we want to go, or who it may be. But I don't anticipate it.
This dude sucks at lying.
They know who they want.
And I heard you all addressing the height. What about Bryce's weight? I mean, there's a lot of people that think he's going to play at 195. Is that a concern for durability and longevity?
Yeah, I think, nutritionally we can do some things to educate him. We get him in the weight room. You can see when you really look at his lower body has gotten bigger. He's put on a lot of mass down there. A lot of times quarterbacks don't want to lift upper body because you get a little bit bound up. But there's some things he's going to naturally put on size as he ages as well. Again, going back to Russ, I think he came out at, 200, maybe he might have been 206 pounds. He's at 220 now. I mean, guys just grow. That's something he can control, and that's something we can help him with. We can't control the height.
Scott, can you talk about the impact that Josh McCown has had throughout this process and some of the insight he's been able to provide?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a guy that's played the position. He sees it through the lens of a quarterback, just like Frank has. And he's a really smart guy. He understands every aspect of that position, how to just basically how to prepare for games, how to study, and he'll have that impact on whichever quarterback it may be. Frank can have that impact. Thomas Brown, even though he didn't play the position, he can help them understand the offense. There's this whole entire staff is unique because it's all geared to like help a quarterback evolve and develop.
How do you find about Bryce that you didn't know about going into this process?
Really just how genuine he is. You see it from outside and just how much he loves ball. The guy's got a lot of fire inside, even though he's on the outside, he looks like he's right here. He's a fiery competitor. That's what you love about him.
Yo, Bryce is the pick, y'all.
It's so obvious, man. He sucks at lying.
Big honcho mother.
I'm just curious, what's the message to him as all this is going on?
He's come in, he's ready to compete. He's 220 pounds. Looks like a different guy when he showed up. He's in great shape, great spirits. I haven't talked to him directly about anything that's going on right now. I did talk to his agent. His agent relayed he's ready. He's ready to compete and come in here. There's nothing promised to anyone. You get what you earn.
Scott, in your career, how much have you relied on, or how much of the staff have relied on tests like the S2 tests for that?
Yeah.
Especially when
Well, obviously, we use it so we believe in it, but it's a tool. Just like there's a lot of different tools that we look at. Analytics, everything else. It all comes back to the tape is the most important thing that we do. What we watch and we evaluate, and what Cole watches, and what Dan watches. S2 is just another tool that we use. It is something we believe in, though.
In terms of scouting things, how do you wait until they're eligible before you really start doing in-depth scouting, or were you doing some of that last year with Bryce and CJ, like when Bryce was winning the Heisman Trophy and all that, when he still wasn't eligible? How far back do you go to start doing in-depth scouting?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they're in the lineup as a starter, we start evaluating them. We've seen these guys multiple times throughout these past few years, whether it's practice exposure, going into the school, talking to the staffs at the school, strength staff, coaches, trainers, and then see them at the live game exposure, and then through the combine and the pro day process. So, we've seen these guys a lot throughout their careers.
For all three of you, can you go back through the process moment, kind of behind the scenes thing that sort of jumped out to you? And each of you probably have a kind of a memory through the visits and the pro days, and with the quarterback specifically.
With all the quarterbacks, I think it's just really nice, like going through the process. You have an idea. You think you have an idea of what these guys are like. You know what they are as football players, but then to actually sit with them and talk to them and get to know them. Get to know about their families, the way they grew up. I think that's pretty cool. Just kind of getting to know these guys on an individual level, on a personal level. So, I think for us that's the biggest thing going through this is, just kind of getting.
Oh Lord.
Thing going on the road.
One little moment with each one of them that you could point out that sort of jumps off the plate that you go back and say that was pretty cool.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any one moment. I think we just try to spend as much time with these guys as possible, get to know them, and it helps us get the best decision as an organization.
Scott, I wanted to ask you first, and then Dan and Cole as well. Bringing a dozen guys on the road for a week and a half. I mean, we talked about it in Tuscaloosa. Like, how fun was that? How unique was that?
Well, I think it was really important in the bonding of our staff. It's a new staff, and they all came from different areas. And we were out there trying to find a quarterback. We had the downtime to sit there and spend with each other. And, getting to know Frank away from the building, getting to know Josh and Jim Caldwell away from the building is awesome. It's a great experience. It's one that, I think moving forward, if we have that ability to do it, I think there's a really positive aspect to going on the road together and just spending time away from the facility, getting to know them as people. How do you think? Talking ball, talking family, all those things are really important.
Could you follow up on the question about the S2 and how we've seen that really grow in popularity, and it's specifically how it helps evaluate quarterbacks?
It helps as a comparative tool, but like everything else, it's just a piece of the puzzle. It's not the end all be all. It's just another piece of information for us to look at and kind of compare guys and see where their strong and weak points are.
Is it more beneficial in terms of quarterbacks than the Wonderlic?
I think there's some correlation with certain positions more than others.
The video hiccups are on their end, y'all.
Compared to you time on the first pick compared to all the other stuff throughout the weekend because of the benefit I have in the number 1 pick?
Well, so that's a really good question because I think you want to have some balance. Obviously, it's a huge decision for the organization. So, the evaluation portion of it, a lot of that was done prior to this. We've gone back just to rewatch, refresh. But I think the more time than any other position or any other pick has been about the number 1 pick. How do we break down the person? We spend more time sitting with them, trying to get to understand them. Is this the person that can lead our franchise? Is he the one that really kind of validates why we went up to 1? Is he the one that's going to make the difference? And it's not like we're expecting this quarterback to come in and instantly just like make everything happen. Everything changes immediately. I mean, you've seen it with like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. It takes time, and you have to surround them with the right people, and you have to surround them with the right coaching. But I think we've done that, and we're not going to force this quarterback on the field. We're not going to ask them to do anything they can't do. We're going to ask them just to play their game and deliver the ball, and make the right reads, and make the right decisions. And that's so for that reason, we have spent time doing that on that number 1 spot.
This is obviously an exciting time for the franchise and fans as well. You talked about coming up with the draft board. I'm curious for each of you guys, what does the next week look like for you all, schedule-wise?
So the scouts just came back in town the other day. We're just reviewing the board, going back through our spring process, who tested well, who didn't. We gather more information on these guys after the combine as well. So we're just going position by position and going through those guys. We're meeting with the coaches later this week and getting their input. But all the work has basically been done. There'll be some minor tweaks to the draft board at this point. Right now, we're about 170 guys. We whittled that down from, we probably wrote up over 1,300 guys this fall. So, so we're down to 170, and we're just tweaking the draft board and just tightening everything up and getting ready to go for the draft. But I feel prepared. Our process has been a good one. I'm ready to go.
5 other picks besides this number 1. I mean, what other areas do you feel like need to be addressed position-wise?
Yeah, I think you always need a pass rusher. I mean,
yes.
We could beef up the offensive line. We've done a lot of things at receiver, but you can always add a receiver, linebacker. I mean, no team's ever complete, and you can always add whoever. But we're gonna the whole part of like free agency is for us. This is our philosophy and has been, is to go into the draft to be able to pick the best player available. And so we've done that. When it comes down to best player available, and there's 2 guys at certain positions, and one position is a need, say it's a linebacker, then the need is a linebacker. So going into it, we're aware of where our weaknesses are, and we'd like to address that, but we're not going to force it.
You're 9 weeks out. I'm sorry, not 9 weeks, 9 days out from the draft. So everybody's looking for Easter eggs, trying to figure out what's going on, who you guys are going to pick. So I have to ask, the Levis and Stroud visits, were those scheduled before today's presser was scheduled?
Yeah, they've been scheduled for a while. And,
great question, Sheena.
Like we're going through the whole process. And we're sticking to it. And we're not going to jump the gun, make any decisions. We need every piece of information we can to make the most informed decision. So we're going to go through it, and it's not done. It won't be done until later this week.
This is for you, but also for starting with Scott, but also for any of you who would like to take this. You mentioned gaining clarity in this process.
Yeah.
What has become more clear having gone through this process?
It just reaffirms what you know about guys, learning new things. The one thing you don't know is how they study, how they learn, how they retain. You can test them, see how they process. You can just really see, you can feel the presence when they walk in the room. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're trying to understand. Who is this guy? Who is this guy that's going to, possibly be the quarterback that leads our team? That's what we're trying to discover right now.
So hang on, we got Joe. You have one. Joe,
Yeah.
Scott, Mike,
Yeah.
David.
To add on to that,
Last five.
yeah, I would say that we go to these games and we see these players as players, right? But we don't get to know them as people. So going through this process, we get to know them as people and just kind of dig down into their core and kind of get to know who they are.
And we heard Scott talk about that process with Russell. You were out there, obviously. Reading back at some of the stuff, you guys talked a lot about, or John did, about his long arms and big hands.
Yep.
What through that whole process with Russell will inform you guys at all on this decision with Bryce?
You know, I think the big thing that I learned from John through that, and I think Fit would echo this, is he had conviction on Russell. So if we have conviction on a guy that we really like, no matter how big or short he is, that's not going to matter. As long as we're convicted on that guy and we feel like he's our guy, then we'll go with it.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, really, Dan's right. It's about conviction. It's about feel. It's about also compensating factors. You know, how do guys compensate their game? You know, how does CJ compensate his game? How's Will? You know, how's Bryce? How do those guys change, and how does it fit what you're going to ask them to do? How does it fit your offense? How does it fit Frank's offense and Thomas's offense? And that's what we're trying to figure out, who's the best guy to run that offense.
Scott, have you made your big trade for this draft period, or is the number one pick still a possibility to be traded?
Yeah, you know, as of right now, I don't see us trading the pick. We'll always pick up the phone. But I think we're in a position where we like where we're at. We're convicted. But just philosophically, we'll always pick up the phone and listen. But it's got to make sense.
In on every deal.
Cole and Dan, as you guys rebuild this defensive front, what have you guys learned about this class from a front seven perspective, defensive line and linebacker, like overall?
Yeah, I think D-line linebacker, I think there's some guys that we like and that we have a lot of interest in terms of fitting in our style of defense that we're going to play. You know, I know we want smart, tough, instinctive players, guys with height and length, and guys that can run. So I feel like there's some good fits from a D tackle, DN perspective. And then linebacker-wise, you know, there's some guys there that we like as well. So we're excited about this class.
Yeah, we're just scouting different body types for the different scheme. Not too much changes for us. It's just, you know, we weight certain attributes differently than we did with the previous scheme.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of press conferences. You haven't asked Frank who his pick is. How much is that because you guys were kind of on the same page when you went into this process, and that really hasn't changed?
You know, that's a really good question. I think, you know, we kind of saw guys the same way. But the reason I didn't want to ask him a question is I didn't want to like close off our minds to where we're going, like make that decision back in March. And, you know, I asked him like just jokingly, I think it's late last week, we're sitting in his office. I said, I still haven't asked you yet, but you know, I think we do see things the same way. We value the same things in quarterbacks, same traits, the same characteristics. There's certain things that we really want. And that's where the clarity comes from.
Gentlemen, this is for any one of you. Is there any one of those top 30 visits that really stuck out to you in these last few weeks?
I don't know. You know, we had a couple receivers in last week. I don't know if I want to say names just because names get out. There was a receiver that we had in last week that was really kind of cool to get to know him. You know, strong character, just a cool guy, and he's one guy that stood out for me.
Last one from Bill.
Kind of for all of you, but Cole, when you talk to your team, when they traded up to number one, what was that conversation like, and how much did your lives kind of change in a blink of an eye a little bit, and kind of all got kicked into high gear?
I mean, the job is still the same, right? We have to evaluate all these guys. The excitement is definitely there. You know, last year we had the opportunity to the top tackle on the board fell to us, so we were fired up about that. And then now we have the opportunity to take the top quarterback on our board. So, you know, I'm fired up. Really excited about this opportunity, but the job doesn't change. We still got to evaluate all these guys, still got to make the rest of our picks. So there's definite excitement for all the scouts, but we still have to execute and do our jobs.
Thank you all very much.
He doesn't. He never. He's biting his tongue right now. Not to tell you. Yeah.
All right, there you have it. You have heard from Dan Morgan, Scott Fitterer, and Cole May. Man, that is a very telling press conference. And so some of my initial thoughts is that the reporters, they were so ready to ask questions about Bryce Young, and they were willing to answer every question they had about Bryce. There have been so many reports that Bryce is the number one in the clubhouse that most of the questions centered around Bryce Young. And they were very forthright in what they felt about him, and that they don't think that batted passes is going to be an issue because of that pocket presence that Bryce has. They don't really care too much about the height. He mentioned how Russell Wilson was 206 pounds coming out of the draft and then bulked up to 220 pounds. I'm going to be real. I don't know if Bryce is ever going to weigh 220 pounds, but he might not have to. And another thing I took away from this was the pick at 39 is either going to be an edge rusher or it's going to be a linebacker. And I felt like they kind of made it a point to kind of say that. They also put to bed the rumors that they're done with their evaluation process, that just because they're doing this press conference today and they're having CJ Stroud in the building today does not mean that they're done evaluating. However, they did say multiple times that they know who they're all kind of leaning in one direction, that they kind of know where they're going with this pick, which also lets me believe that it's going to be Bryce Young. I feel like it's pretty much sold at this point. Anthony, what say you, man?
Well, there's two things. First, like people on the way they talk about Bryce Young is like after a draft press conference. Like they're saying stuff that like after we drafted him. Oh, we drafted him because we don't, he can always bulk up. Height isn't a concern. Batted balls isn't a problem. Fitterer sucks at lying, man. Let's just be honest. He is not good at it at all. So I think I can confirmly say that Bryce is the pick. As for pick 39, yeah, it's looking like edge rusher or linebacker is going to be the pick. They must not be worried about cornerback. Yeah, that's really what I took away. Also, I don't think they're trading the pick now. It sounded like they have conviction on what they want to do.
Yeah, and he flat out said more than likely we're going to be staying at number one. However, we're going to answer the phone if it rings, which that kind of tells me that if they get an offer that they can't refuse, maybe they do trade back. But as of right now, I don't think that's going to happen. G baby, you've been silent the whole time, bro. Tell me what your thoughts were, dude.
Feel good.
Feel good. That's all you got to say. You feel good. You're doing your victory laps already, bro.
It's been this way since day one, man. This ain't nothing new to me.
I feel like during the press conference, Anthony, you made a point. It's like they already knew, it's like they had already drafted Bryce Young.
Yeah, dude.
And they were talking about all the reasons why they don't care about how short he is. They don't care about how much he weighs. They were very high on Russell Wilson. All these different things. Like that's why it just felt like that's going to be the pick, and they have no problem. They had no problem saying it.
Yo, G baby gonna be slinging that meat to Nicole Tepper, bro.
Oh, y'all wild, man.
I want to say this real quick. If I like how he brings up the nutritionist, because Bryce Young playing weight at 205, that is possible. Okay, that is very possible. Like he can play at 205. I honestly think that's perfect because he's fast in the pocket. He's quick. You don't want him to put on all that weight for him to slow down and lose that pocket mobility. Because when if he's quick and he's tough. So I like that. Yeah, once again, like they are so bad at lying, man. Like so bad. He was talking like we just drafted Bryce Young. It's crazy to me. So unless something changes,
about 220. Who came in at 220?
Oh, Matt Corral.
The chat room is saying Matt Corral is 220 pounds. I have not seen that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Oh, Sheena said that.
Yeah. Everyone said it. They said Matt Corral is. They talked to his agent. He's 220 and he's ready to compete. So that's what they said.
Yo, let's go. Yo, I love that Matt. He doesn't care about none of the noise. He's out there grinding, trying to get better, man. Hey, man, y'all might not think nothing of Matt Corral, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm happy that we have him no matter what, and he has a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to ball. I don't give a damn if G Baby calls him Pee Wee from now to the end of the time, bro. It is what it is, man. But yeah, and like I said earlier, I feel like right now at 39, defensive end is the pick. They said they like the edge class, they like the linebacker class, and it looks like that's going to be the direction that they go in with pick number 39. They also said that they're aware of the holes on the team right now, and that they would like to fill those, but they might not be able to. So,
man, I hope it's a lineman, bro.
At 39,
yeah,
Ojulari.
BJ Ojulari, maybe like a Brian Brissy out of
What about the dude from Tennessee?
No, I'm talking offensive lineman, bro.
At 39,
yes.
I don't know if the value is there at 39.
The value's there, bro.
I do. We'll see. Wait, what'd you say, G Baby? For who?
I want an offensive lineman, dude.
Wait, I think this organization really likes Brady Christensen. Apparently more than a lot of fans do. Like, I'm a fan of Brady Christensen. There's this idea that he's not good in run blocking. To me, that's bullshit. And it's the first year that he ever played the position.
Bro, it's not even about his talent, though, Cody. We got both our guards, both coming off of season-ending injuries, G.
No, Brady will be fine. He'll be there for the first week.
Bro, it's a fractured ankle, and he's a big motherfucker, man.
Yeah, dude, he's going to be available for game one.
Okay, Corbett, no.
Yeah, if you want to talk about Corbett, then yeah, I wouldn't mind maybe getting another right guard spot. But a lot of people like Cade Mays as well, who's on the offensive line out of Tennessee last year. And then listen, Karen already knows what's up. We still got our boy Blastoise on the practice squad, man.
Yeah.
Deontay Brown, baby. Listen, that dude was a mauler at right guard for Alabama. Let's have an Alabama guard protecting an Alabama quarterback, baby. Let's go. What's up?
Who do y'all think that that really stood out to Scott when it comes to a receiver? You think it was Mingo? You think it was Mims? You think it was Flowers?
I kind of think Mingo. If you look at Mingo's tape from Ole Miss, dude, he has some DJ Moore in him, man. And he's tall, he's fast. Yeah, to me, Mingo might end up being the pick.
Have they had Mims in? Because I feel like Mims is a way better receiver than Mingo, bro.
I don't know. I would have to look that up. I believe
Marvin
so.
Mims, man. Y'all need a man. I'm telling y'all. Sub 4.3, dog. That dude is nice.
Hey, real quick, going off of what we talked about a little bit last night, what do y'all think? Like, I know G Baby wants a running back, but what do y'all think about the two running backs that I posted in the chat between Chase Brown out of Illinois or Deuce Vaughn? I know he's small as shit, but he is literally a smaller Christian McCaffrey if you watch his tape. What do y'all feel about taking a running back in the fourth round?
As long as it's back there, I'm fine with it. The only running back that I would feel comfortable drafting at number 39 is Jahmyr Gibbs, and that's really the only one. Bijan Robinson is not falling to 39, so there's no point in even talking about that.
Sean's a dog.
If we pass on Gibbs, my favorite running back is the other guy that Bijan played with at Texas, the Roschon Johnson. Yeah, because he's big and we need.
He's a big back. Let me tell you guys about Roschon Johnson. If it wasn't for Roschon Johnson would start on any college football team, bro. He does it all. He blocks great. He's a great pass blocking running back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's big. He's a big bruising back, and he's a lot faster than people give him credit for. If I were to compare him to any back in the NFL, I would compare him to Deontay Foreman, bro. To be completely honest with you guys, man.
A lot of people in the chat are saying the same thing. They want a power back because a lot of people just don't trust Chuba Hubbard in that position. And I understand Miles Sanders is not a power back type of running back. I think Chuba gets shit on a little bit too much, but I'm also okay if people want to upgrade that position too. Just as long as we do it in the back half of the draft, man. I'm not trying to spend honestly, between the first and fourth round, I'm not trying to spend on a running back.
G baby, you're a diehard Texas Longhorn fan. What do you have to say about Overshown as a linebacker?
The linebacker.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of him, man. To be honest, he had a couple of he was knacked. He had a couple of injuries, but they weren't big injuries. But bro, he's fast. He flies around. He hits well. He's a good coverage back. He wore the number 0, bro. He's a baller, dog. He's a baller, bro. So I'm high on him, bro. If we got him at linebacker, I wouldn't be mad. But he need to put on some weight, G.
Oh yeah, he's like more of like a Shaq Thompson, smaller guy.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jack Campbell or Drew Sanders is the pick at 39, just because they have that inside linebacker ability.
Jack Campbell.
Yeah, yeah. What I say? What I say?
Jack Campbell and Drew Sanders. Anything that Luke Kuechly says, I'm gonna 110% agree. When he came out and talked about Bryce and how he compared him, like how Drew Brees, I mean, short.
Yeah, man.
Like that was like definitive for me.
Yeah, Evan Sports Talk. I would love Trenton Simpson at 39.
Same. Let's go Tigers, baby.
One thing I noticed also, they didn't mention
that little motherfucker.
Man, let Anthony finish. Shut your ass up. Go ahead, dude.
I said he didn't mention the secondary. Did y'all hear that? Like, I think he's pretty confident with where our secondary's at because he didn't say we could always add another cornerback. Like, I think Scott Fitterer's really telling about what he like.
Yeah,
like he tells us what we need.
Anthony, that also kind of says to me that they haven't given up on C.J. Henderson yet, and a lot of people might feel a certain type of way about that. But you have to build players, man. You have to continue to build them up, and continue to develop them. These players, they're not fully polished products coming out of college. So maybe they feel, especially now with Ejiro Evero, that they're going to be able to get the most out of him. So I don't know. It'll be interesting for him, for Dante Jackson. There's a lot of guys that it's going to be interesting to see what kind of production they have this year.
Can I say this real quick? What are y'all honest? If you had to give it like out of 100%, what was your odds on us trading the pick at this point in time? Now knowing that the Texans are potentially looking to trade out of that number 2 pick, do you think the Panthers will have the number 1 pick in 9 days or 8 days when the draft?
I think it's 70-30. I think that Carolina is leaning towards being convinced that it's going to be Bryce, but I also think that it just really depends on what Houston would be willing to offer us, to where if we have 2 guys on our board we're both very high on, let's say for instance it's Bryce and AR, okay, and we're like, okay, well, if we can get another second round pick or a first round next year and replenish what we gave up to get here, and we still get one of our guys, I would take that. I would take that offer.
To me, it's about 90% to 10%. I think the only way, like, especially if we all feel like they love Bryce at number 1, like, you're gonna have to offer probably at this point like 2 first-round picks in order to get the Panthers to be able to move off of that pick. And even then, if they love Bryce, they still might not do it. Straight up.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, why I asked that, because Houston, like, all of this stuff from Houston's camp is coming out to where they're saying, like, well, we want to trade the pick now. We may not even take a quarterback now. Like, they're just completely acting so different. And throughout this whole last month, everyone was saying that, the Panthers were trying to bait Houston into trading up. So I don't know. Maybe the Panthers just changed their mind and they're like, all right, well, if we really like this guy, we can't get him at 2. So we may just have to take him. We gambled all this money. Let's go for the big home run, I guess.
I would not be shocked if Houston does try to do something, or we hear something that they're trying to move up to get Bryce and they offer a haul. I would not
All
be
right,
shocked.
well, if they gonna offer something, I'm gonna need like 3 first-round motherfucking picks. Y'all, it made me happy.
I agree with G, though. You have all the leverage. If you're convicted on your quarterback, you're not moving off him unless you're getting a haul. Like, that's how the business works, It's like, that's how I view it. I mean,
But this is why I don't think it's gonna happen. Why would Houston do that? They have a first year head coach. Why would you handicap your first year head coach by doing that shit, man? It just doesn't make sense to me, man. They need Houston has so many fucking holes on defense, bro.
Yeah.
Even on offense, bro, they have so many fucking holes to fill. Yeah. You get a first-year head coach, and now you're about to, who knows, maybe you get a first-year QB. Why would you handicap your first-year head coach and your first-year rookie QB? It just doesn't make sense, bro. I wouldn't do it, bro.
Red Pat Bone, I missed your question. Ask it one more time in the chat, and I'll post it up. But no, it depends on how desperate the Texans are. If they refuse to come away with any other quarterback than Bryce, then yeah, maybe they do offer something like that. I think the chances of that happening are pretty slim to none right now. I'm also hearing rumors. Houston loves Will Levis.
Bro, I've been hearing that shit, and that is absolutely blows me away, bro.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It shows you how different evaluations are from team to team.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other teams that they don't even have a first-round grade on Will Levis or Anthony Richardson.
I heard about that shit, too. That shit doesn't surprise me, though, man.
Right, but then you have other teams that might value AR above everyone else in the draft. It's just different from team to team, man.
I'm kind of like Anthony in this when it comes to Jalen Carter. I am petrified if AR goes to Atlanta and ends up being a rock star.
Or Jalen Carter. Or Jalen. Yeah. Like any of those guys. So like if you're Atlanta, like you gotta pray that on draft night that Seattle or Detroit pulls the trigger on Jalen Carter.
Okay, Anthony, you can say that though, but think about how they think of how we're about to get fucking Bryce Young. You can say the same thing for us, bro. We're about to get this generational fucking type QB, bro. We're about to be set for fucking years, you guys.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I know.
telling you.
It's really.
Hey, let me ask this question posted up by Ray. But thus switching to a 3-4, do we really have the players to successfully run that defense? Shouldn't we try and focus on defenders a little more than we are in this draft? I mean, Ray, that might be the plan. That might be what the Panthers intend to do. And I do agree. If you're going to move to a 3-4, you have to make a concerted effort to know that you have the type of players to be able to fit that kind of defense. I understand anyone that right now says that we don't currently have the right build for that type of defense. The draft might be the only way for us to fix that.
Okay, well, let's do this then, Cody. Let's do this then, G. Let's do this. Let's do this then, bro. How many D tackles do we have right now, G?
Shit.
2 or 3.
Let's name the starters. We got Derek Brown. We got Tuttle.
Shy Tuttle. The Williams.
We got Williams, right? Williamson, or right?
I'm about to look it up.
McCall, too.
Let's count the D tackles that we have on the team. Let's count both left and right end edge rushers, and let's count our fucking linebackers, G. Because I'm telling you right now, I counted the secondary. We got like 8 DBs. That's why they're not talking about DBs. You guys got to realize, man, CJ Henderson is a top 12 pick. You don't you can't give up on a top 12 pick like that, man. First of all, he played in a sorry ass Phil Snow soft ass, bullshit ass defense, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of motherfuckers, you know what? Steve Wilkes is who he is. You know what? Shout out to you, Steve Wilkes. Your defense sucks. And you don't know how to fucking adjust during the fucking game, bro.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but look, these are the defensive tackles that we have on the roster. We have Raekwon Williams, Deshaun Williams, Shai Tuttle, Bravion Roy, John Pacini, Raekwon McCall, and that's another player that came on big for us last year, and then Derek Brown. So we do have a plethora.
See, we got plenty of defense. So do you personally see us drafting a nose tackle or DT? I don't.
No,
absolutely not.
No, we're going to be able to stop the run. That's for sure this year. We just need that other guy next to Burns.
So all right, now let's count the pass rushers on Burns' side. Is Burn a left or right?
I don't know. He'll switch. Like sometimes he'll go against the left tackle, sometimes he'll go against the right.
Give me the edge rushers, Cody. I know we got Brian Burns, we got Marquise Haynes, and we got YGM.
So right now, the defensive ends are Brian Burns.
That's one.
Your Gross Matos, Marquise Haynes, and Kobe Jones.
That's 4 people, boys.
Yeah,
that's it.
They're going edge rusher, guys. I'm pretty.
That's 4. That's 4 motherfuckers on this team, and we don't even believe in YGM. Marquise Haynes has been on the squad since Cam Newton was on the fucking squad. I don't know why he's still on the squad. He don't do shit. And then y'all fucking consider Brian Burns, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. So,
Barno. So everyone's saying Barno.
Luvu, pass rusher?
But no, listen. Everyone's saying Amari Barno. Amari Barno is listed as an outside linebacker. Right now, the Panthers website, they still have Brian Burns listed as a defensive end. So I was asked for defensive ends. Y'all want linebackers?
Let's do linebackers.
I didn't know that.
Hey, let's do outside linebackers. Don't count the inside linebackers. Outside.
Well, no, but we don't even have that many at all. We have Camus, Kruger Hill, Frankie Luvu, Aaron Mosby, Brandon Smith, Shat Thompson, Chandler Wooten, and Amari Barno.
Did you guys hear those motherfucking names?
Yeah, no, we're drafting a linebacker and we're drafting an edge. Like that's literally what he alluded to in the press conference.
I want Panther Nation to do you guys recognize half of those names?
I'm gonna go to our lads, Pickle. You're right. You guys might have
just convinced me it might be an edge linebacker at pick 39, bro.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
I'm looking at the team. I'm looking at that. We don't need DB help. We don't need D tackle, nose tackle help. We have 4 pass rushers, and then we have 4 or 5 linebackers, and half of them are a bunch of bitches.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like we're gonna draft an edge, man. Like
so, then why the fuck are motherfuckers talking about receivers at pick 39?
No,
I listened to the PMP mock draft. And half of the motherfuckers in there talking about taking a receiver at pick 39.
Yeah, I didn't get that either, man. Like I don't know what the dire need for receiver is here.
I understand pairing the rookie QB with the rookie receiver, but boys, we got other holes we got to fill.
Yeah. Gee, everybody's telling you to turn it down a notch, bro. They said you're blowing their eardrums out. You're making their ears.
Oh, my bad, boys.
So outside linebacker. Your Gross Matos, Marquise Haynes, Kobe Jones. Right outside linebacker is Brian Burns and Amari Barno. Yeah, thank you, Pickle. Our lads is way better. Is way better for looking at the roster right now. But listen, to me, the Panthers have made enough moves in free agency that we don't even need to consider going wide receiver in this draft. Unless it's the best player available type of situation. Yeah, man.
Okay, let me just say this. The quarterback you're bringing in most likely is a quarterback who spreads the ball. He doesn't force feed anyone. he's a quote unquote a point guard. They know that Bryce is going to be fine with these guys. Yes, eventually they're probably going to have to get him a number one receiver because that's how every quarterback has evolved in this league. But there is bigger holes on the team, like G Baby said. Like there is bigger things we have to take care of.
Yeah, there's definitely bigger holes on the team. And to me, the defense is where you're probably going to see pick 39 be allocated towards. Either a Drew Sanders, a Jack Campbell, a BJ Ojolari, Isaiah Foskey is another guy I like out of Notre Dame. If y'all haven't looked him up already, yeah, that works out. So look, here's what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm gonna go until 1:30, and if y'all want to join in, I'm about to post the link in the chat. We're not going to be here too much longer. So if y'all want to come and hang out, boom. That's the link. Jump on, Ray. But yeah, man. So and then we'll get people who want to talk about some of their, some of their takeaways from the press conference. We can do that. By the way, 317 people. Man, I appreciate y'all. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. Did
they talk about a tight end at all?
Not specific. Let me add my man. Ray Pabone, what's up, brother?
Yogi, appreciate the invite.
Yeah, man. Tell me your thoughts.
No, so I mean, we can keep it going with the defense because it's just like, I mean, and G Baby just spoke to it, which is exactly why I feel as though we're not speaking on this defense enough. Like, I understand we were a top 10 defense, and I understand everyone can sit here and say how many corners we have and the talent we got. I mean, I believe G Baby was even speaking to Henderson being a top 12 pick and this and the third, and that's great all on paper. But do we forget that the majority of these corners spent the majority of the season on the injury report?
Yeah.
And Twan and I say it all the time. The best ability is availability. So these guys can be talented all day. But if they're never on the field and they're constantly not healthy, maybe we do need to look at corner help. And Cody, I know you've seen it plenty of times. I think we were in the same draft when we were pounding the table for Garrett Williams. I understand he's hurt. I understand, but you can never have enough bodies at corner. Just like we're talking about how the NFL is changing and it is a passing league, you can never have enough receivers.
Yeah.
Well, the same token on the defense. You can never have enough corners between the injuries and just all the passing that is going on week in and week out. So,
and one of the tenets of a 3-4 defense is that you're going to be able to pin your ears back, get really aggressive, and allow your corners to play man coverage. Like really just suffocate them. So
here's my thing real quick, because this is more of in my opinion, a philosophy and opinionated thing. I don't know if you could really make it factual. In y'all's opinion, don't you need better corners to run a 3-4 than as opposed to a 4-3? Like, you're really going to lean on your DBs covering. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of so you can free up that front seven. Now, granted, it's going to be 4. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to get quite the same pressure from the defensive line as you would from a 4-3. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. So you see what I'm saying here? Like, we're going to need the corners to play that much better.
That's also why I'm saying maybe they haven't given up on CJ Henderson like a lot of fans have. Maybe they find that he might have a lot of potential in our type of defense. Hey, let me welcome Jay Issue. Jay, what's up, bro?
What's going on, boys?
What's good, Jay?
What's good with you, Jay?
Chilling.
I'll tell you real quick, Cody, I will never give up on a player due to injuries. I will give up on a player when I see him fully healthy and just not contributing the way he should. So Henderson, I guess I'm speaking to that. I'm not ready to give up on Henderson yet at all. There's a reason this dude was drafted so high, to G Baby's point. Like, no. This dude was drafted highly for a reason. So again, he's had a bad string of luck with injuries. But again, like, we have so much talent on this roster. I think we all are in agreement of that. Now, granted, in my opinion, it's still not quite, at least on defense, enough talent to compete week in and week out and have a top 5 defense, which we are capable of having. We just need to add some pieces. I mean, we are switching to a 3-4. This is technically foreign territory for us.
It's definitely foreign territory, and that's why a lot of people have been pounding the table for Leonard Floyd to be a free agent signing for us. Apparently, he wants a fuckload of money though. So
Right. And I mean, there's rumors about Clowney coming here. I mean, I don't. That's gonna involve some money as well.
But to me,
3 years now. I don't
yeah,
see
but
him
to
coming.
me, yeah, Clowney's lost a step in my opinion. Like he's not even the same
He's just a guy
player
at this
that
point,
day.
Cody.
Yeah.
Well,
And let me
Clowney-
hey, hold on one quick second, Anthony. Let me welcome my guy Evan, C3 Evan Sports Talk. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
What's up? And then we got Brandon Cawthon in the building. Brandon, what's up, dude?
Yo, what up?
Hey man, so let me everyone that just jumped in, let me get your opinion on the press conference. And we'll start with Jay Issue. Jay, it sounded like they were pretty sold on Bryce, man. What are you thinking?
I'm not necessarily gonna say it's Bryce, but I'm cool with Bryce. Even though I rather prefer Stroud, but I'm cool with Bryce as long as it's between them two.
Yeah. Okay. C3 Evan Sports Talk. What's up, man? Tell me what are your thoughts about the press conferences and just what are your thoughts in general, man?
Well, yeah, I'm in kind of the same boat as JSU. I mean, I'm more of a Stroud guy, but I'm cool with Bryce if he is the pick, and I'll support him. I mean, whichever one it is, I'm getting the jersey and the process blue for whoever the pick is. And yeah, I mean, I kind of wish, even with CJ still possibly being a guy who can be our other corner, I still think cornerback is a need at 39. If there's a certain guy there, like an Emmanuel Forbes,
yeah,
it's going to be hard to pass on him. He's an interception machine. Even with his size, I think he's a really good player, and you can't pass up on him.
And I'm a firm believer that if you're getting interceptions in college, that's the best indicator of you being able to get interceptions in the NFL. You know, you have to be able to see them have the ball skills to, actually be able to catch the football. You know, there's a few guys that can do that, man.
Bro, he holds the record for most pick sixes in college football history, dog.
Does he really? Damn.
Yeah,
that's a
bro.
wild
He's
stat.
got the most pick sixes in the history of college football, dog.
Yeah, Brandon, what did you think about the press conference? And I don't know, man. How you feeling right now?
Man, I'm good. I just want Stroud.
You just want? So you're in your feelings right now.
Nah, it's one of them. I don't care if we go with Bryce, but I've watched the film, man. I keep seeing Bryce, but it seemed like a lot of his plays are not. They're off. Like he's playmaking his backyard ball a lot, and I just know in the league, he ain't gonna be able to do that, man. He not, and he go get caught. I'm telling you, he go get caught.
A few times.
He got caught a lot in college doing that. You see what I'm saying? And then when I go to Stroud, the ball just comes out, man. It don't matter if it's wrong, whatever. He get the ball out.
It's beautiful when it comes out.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like everybody talk about how great his receivers are, all this. He still got to get the ball in that spot. And
See, I don't like real quick. I hate to cut you off. The reason I don't like that argument is because the last time I checked, both these guys are playing with 5-star recruits. Both these guys are playing in Power 5 conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like that argument, I try not to, I shy away from at this point because you can literally make the argument for both guys. Both guys had great receivers. Both guys had great lines. Both guys, you know what I'm saying? They have all 5-star recruits. So that one's tough for me, but you know.
And then you look at it too. It's another thing I saw on film. It wasn't like his receivers are running amazing routes on half the time. They just run. He's throwing the ball before they get there. He's throwing the ball and making them right half of the time. Like he putting the ball in spots where I don't see anybody.
I'm on your side, Brandon. He throws one of the best footballs that I've ever seen, dude. He has such a perfect amount of touch, timing, and accuracy on those throws that he makes. I mean, I've been saying he's Joe Burrow with a bigger arm. I do think he has a bigger arm than Joe Burrow. I've been.
You're saying this about Stroud, correct?
Yeah, Stroud. Yeah, to me, Stroud he has some of the best arm talent, the most well-rounded arm talent.
And I have to agree with you, 100%. And that's why, I'm just getting to the point where, especially this close to the draft, I feel like I'm comfortable saying my comparison when it comes to CJ is Burrow.
But
Like
even
that
when
is
you
the
do even
comparison.
when you do that though, Ray, they say they get on Stroud for having so many weapons and he has the perfect protection. But Joe Burrow had the same thing in LSU,
I was gonna say,
and
do we want to sit here and lift
nobody
off
is
the
digging him
receivers
out,
this man was playing with?
and nobody is
Yeah.
digging Joe Burrow out.
I mean,
No,
we
I
could
mean, you're
arguably
right.
say Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the league, right?
Dude,
Yeah,
they
he
had
is.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrace Marshall
I was say
Jr.
TMJ, bro.
Dude,
Like, hey,
they had dogs. That might have been the most stacked LSU, or that might have been the most stacked offensive lineup a
Facts.
national championship team has ever had, like by far, hands down.
But Joe Burrow is loved.
Yeah, but the thing is, Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl, and he almost went to another one. So it's like Burrow's legit. So when you make a good comparison to Stroud and Burrow, I mean that's a good thing, man. Hey,
Right.
let me welcome my guy, Sir Predictable. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How we doing?
Doing good, doing good. How are we feeling about this? Just where we are, the press conference, everything in general, man.
I mean, it's like it usually is. They didn't really say a whole lot. They said a lot without saying anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes and no. I do feel like they were kind of tipping their hat toward Bryce. And again, maybe it was because the reporters, with all the rumors of Bryce being a lot to go number one, all of the questions
they were definitely
centered
baiting this
around
man.
Bryce.
They were baiting this man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
for
all
sure.
the questions were leaded. They were leading him towards answering Bryce.
Bro.
Well, you also got to remember they have the number one pick, so it's pretty much they can do whatever the fuck they want at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm
Dude,
not mad. Bryce
Let me
is
ask you.
probably
I mean,
cool.
look, am I alone in this? Like, what are the chances that the number one pick is C.J. Stroud?
You're absolutely
It
by your
very well
fucking
could
self.
be.
What the fuck are we talking about right here,
Yeah,
bro?
at this point, no, bro.
It very well could be.
Hey, hold on, bro. You guys said Petey's in there, bro. Hey, Petey's this so-called fucking Alabama fan, bro, but he fucking shits on his fucking best QB
Yeah, he
they've
does.
ever
But,
fucking
hey, but you
had,
know
bro.
what? But here's my thing, and I'm gonna come to the side of my man. You know what I do appreciate? When someone's a diehard fan of their team and they can be honest with you.
That is not honest, bro. That's not honesty. That's called delusional,
I'm
bro.
just saying in the sense of
called
what's the word? I mean, honest would be the thing, but just even keel, whatever you want to call it. Because like at the end of the day, I know how I am about my Miami players. I'll be like, oh yeah, this guy's the greatest. This guy's the greatest. But when it comes to draft time, it's just like, all right, well, let's be honest.
Yeah, he's not good for my team.
Yeah, and you have to, man. Like,
I mean,
dude,
Cody, Clemson. I mean, tell me, not every single
what I'm
Clemson
saying.
guy is a phenomenal player, right? Like,
No. It's, yeah, 100%. Like a lot of people are wanting KJ Henry out of Clemson, and it's like I'm not even sure he fits us at this moment. So you know, I don't know. Like Brian Brissett, I do think has a lot of upside left. But dude, I'm one of the biggest J.C. Horn fans there is, man. I put my college fandom aside. when we're
right?
talking
Sometimes you have to.
professional
I do that.
football.
I do that with Florida State guys all the time. Can't stand Florida State, but hey, a good player is a good
Yeah,
player.
if they have a baller, you got to talk about the baller.
But
they
before I
are,
forget, if you don't mind, Cody, there was another question I had when I was in the chat earlier when we were talking about the
go ahead,
quarterbacks. So we've all been fans of football for a while, and we've seen it. We've seen the Tim Tebow's of the world, Heisman Trophy winner, National College winner multiple times, this, that, and the third. NFL career flamed out. I understand there's plenty more players I can throw out there, you know, with those types of resumes. I mean, hell, I can throw out, you know, Miami quarterbacks and things like that. Phenomenal college careers. Sorry for the background noise. My apologies. Fantastic college careers, but, you know, go to the NFL, flame out, don't make it. Heisman Trophy winners at that. And I know that's a stigma, too. A lot of us will look at a Heisman Trophy winner and see 9 times out of 10, they don't really pan out all the time.
Johnny Manziel.
Right. So here's where I'm going with this. And I think this is now my reasoning of why I don't really want Bryce. I'll take him. I won't be mad. I'm still a CJ guy, just to put that out there. I think the reason now why I am finally shying away from Bryce is the stigma of when we talk about all these guys in college that had that it factor and, you know, all these intangibles. More often than not, we see that not really translate, though. And it's some guy that was picked 2 or 3 quarterbacks later, or a guy that was picked rounds later. So is that what we're falling into right now? We are enamored by this Alabama Power 5 school quarterback that has the it intangible. has won the Heisman, and we're just going to take that because it's just on paper. That's just who you go with.
And let me add to your
There's
argument,
something,
Ray.
I guess, real quick, and I guess the reason I finished that, the thing that scares me is to think that, yes, my comparison with Stroud is Burrow. I'd hate to see CJ go, hell, to Indy, to anywhere, hell, somehow fall to the Falcons and have a legendary career while we're sitting here talking about Bryce being, what could have been.
Let me say this too. And by the way, listen, G baby, he's going to talk his shit about me, but if we draft Bryce Young, I am fine with Bryce at number 1. However, there are 2 things that do bother me about Bryce. He's never played in a bad weather game. And I know everybody's like, oh, that don't matter. We're in Carolina. Okay, you're going to tell me that we're never going to have to go to Lambeau in December, that we're never going to have to go to Seattle in December. He's going to have to play in some bad outdoor weather from time to time. And the fact that he doesn't have that elite arm talent, that elite drive of the football, that does scare me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't. Now, I don't think that it has to be his Achilles heel, but at the same time, yeah, do I wish that he had a little bit of a better arm? Yeah, I do. I really do.
Can I push back on that just a little?
Go ahead.
I mean, this is like I said, I was putting this out there just because it went through my head. Obviously, it's. I feel like what I need. The reason I said that is because I need to stop, and a lot of us need to stop the whole thing where it's like, he's 5'10", that's just not going to work. I mean, that needs to not be the discussion of why you don't like Bryce Young anymore. It needs to be, in my opinion, something kind of like this, where it's like, if you don't like this guy, it clearly needs to be because in the history of the NFL, we've seen so many times these Heisman winners, these it factor guys, not translate to the NFL.
That is fucking stupid to me. That's stupid to me,
That's
bro.
where I'm at with it, right?
That is absolutely stupid. That's
hold
stupid.
on. Who did I say could go next?
That was Sir
Brandon?
Perk.
That was Sir Perk.
All right, Sir Perk, go ahead, man.
All right, so the bad weather shit, right? People with strong arms who try to throw it in those bad weather games usually suck. Bryce is more of a dink and dunk guy with intermediate arm strength. It's not going to affect him that much.
Yeah, you don't in a cold weather game. You're not supposed to be chucking the ball deep, regardless.
Right.
Like
It's not
when
gonna
Joe Burrow, when he beat Josh Allen in the snow game, he was just throwing intermediate passes. Like Josh Allen was the one slinging it around, throwing interceptions. That's not the end all be all.
That's my only pushback to that, Cody. Like it's not like Bryce is going to be trying to throw it 50 yards in bad weather. He's going to be the 15 and in.
The primary example that I was thinking of is a few years ago when Mac Jones and the Patriots went up to Buffalo, and it was really bad weather. And you saw the Buffalo offense, they were able to do whatever the hell they wanted. But Mac Jones, he could not make all the throws in that game. And, I'm not even trying to make a comparison to Mac and Bryce. It's just, I wouldn't want to be in that type of scenario where our offense was limited.
Here's my thing with that, Cody. Who won that game? The Patriots did. So even though Josh Allen
No. I mean the playoff game. I'm talking the playoff game.
I mean, I just don't think one game is gonna deter. Like just because Mac, he still was able to put up like 20 points. It's just Buffalo put up like 49 that game. That doesn't. I just don't think that's a big reason as to why you don't take a guy. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe he sucks when he plays in the snow, but I don't know when the last time Carolina's played in a snow game, like 2019, I think. Versus Green Bay.
It's not. To me, it's not even just snow. It's like when it's a really, really windy day.
I was gonna say, hey Cody, you remember that monsoon game, bro? Hey,
yeah, man, like,
Jacksonville.
Dude, even though it's not
nobody was throwing in that game.
Even though it's not going to be a scenario that he's throwing in all the time, there are going to be games where he's going to have to play in some bad weather. And I'm not even doubting him, really. I'm just wondering what that looks like. Because to me, we have never seen Bryce under those types of inclement conditions. I mean,
I guess the point I'm trying to make.
Dice up Michigan in the snow, but
anything I've thrown out here in the last few minutes is literally just for discussion purposes. Like I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, that's all we're doing, man.
So with that being said, it's one thing I will say about the press conference was he said multiple times, we're going to go with who can run this system the best, who can run Reich's system the best, Brown's system the best. So shouldn't that just keep it real simple, y'all? So just keeping that in mind, I know me personally, I need to get more familiar with how exactly, these offenses are. So let me go look at Indy, let me go look at Philly and things of that nature. Let me go look at the Rams. And then from there, kind of just put each quarterback in those systems. So, I mean, just for the sake of it, maybe some of y'all are a little more informed than I am. And in all honesty, who do you believe then, just based off that sole fact, does fit us better? Is it Bryce or is it CJ? Hell, is it Will Levis? Is it AR? Like, you know what I'm saying?
What offense are we running?
100% CJ. I went back and looked at that. I looked at when Frank Wright was with Indianapolis. They were running the ball a lot. That's another reason why I think we might even get another tight end in this draft, because it was always two tight ends that did well. And
right. So with that being said, so in Indy, because that's the one I can think of off the top of my head, Wright is there. Frank Wright's there. Let me name those quarterbacks, just the last couple real quick. And then who does that, like, which one of these rookie quarterbacks look like those guys? Phillip Rivers. The dude from the Eagles. Holy shit. Carson Wentz.
Listen.
Matt Ryan. And then I feel like I'm missing even another one yet.
Dude, he's Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, the dude from Texas, Sam Ellinger.
There you go.
But listen, to me,
100%.
but this is the question.
Hey, they went to the playoffs with him.
I shouldn't laugh at that. You're right.
Frank didn't necessarily have the final say so on all those quarterbacks that he was running. And to be fair, apparently
he did want Wentz though.
No, he did. But whenever he had, whenever Russell Wilson was coming through the draft, he also had Russell Wilson evaluated very, very highly.
You have
to me that was one of the reasons why I felt CJ was the number one for so long, because everybody thought, oh, Frank Wright likes his quarterback 6'3" and above, and that's the only type of quarterback that he wants. But frankly, I think that was overblown. I don't think Frank cares about it too much as he cares about the quarterback position and the intangibles that they show on film.
Okay, so then the next team I would bring up is Philly. Just because I can't, I'm not sure off the top of my head. And when he was in Philly, who was he running with in Philly? It wasn't Jalen Hurts yet, was it?
No, Nick Foles. So Nick Foles is 6'5". Look, I understand
and Carson Wentz. Yeah, okay.
I understand the point that you're making. To me,
I'm not really trying to make a point. I'm trying to associate where, like, just for the fact that who they've had.
God bless you, CJ Stroud fans on draft night, man.
Listen, he has only coached.
God bless you guys.
Okay, can I?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I feel like we are drafting Bryce Young, and I'm not mad about that. Because I am a CJ guy. I'm not mad at it. And I think that's something somebody said it earlier. Let me say it to everybody. I'll let it come out of my mouth too. I think everybody needs to relax and be happy that we're getting a great prospect in general. Like, we're going to end up with one of these two guys, and it's looking like Bryce, and I'm not mad at that. And nobody in here should be as well. Nothing against Matt Corral, but again, there's nothing really on the roster anyway. And there's nothing out there for agency unless you want to spend a lot of money.
And by the way, real quick,
we're trying to see what is best for what Frank Wright. Look at that.
Let me say,
looking at the history, looking at what it tells us, that's what it says. You can't be mad at that. Like, we're just going with what we know, what we've seen. That's just what I seen.
Hey, I'm gonna time out. I'm gonna let Anthony go. I want to say real quick. Yes, I read the comments in the chat. We got 287 people, man. There's a bunch of comments. We're obviously not going to be able to get to everyone. If y'all want to do this, mainly, we do the Friday free-for-all every Friday at 7 p.m., and we invite anyone and everyone to come on and be a part of the show. This was just like a little impromptu session, us reacting to the press conference and everything else. So whoever's in the chat room right now, that's who's in the chat room. Whoever's on the show, that's who's on the show. And I'm not accepting any more people. We got like 15 minutes before I get out of here. But Anthony had a point. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Panther Pickle said this in the chat. We aren't going to run the Colts offense. Sheena Quick and a lot of reliable beat reporters said Frank Reich wants to run kind of this Philly offense that Jalen Hurts ran last year.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that Thomas Brown wants to mix that around with some of the stuff that the Rams ran. So I don't think you guys know, anyone knows what offense we're actually going to run until, we get to OTAs and they're asking people questions about what's going to happen and stuff like that. I think this offense is going to be really creative and tailored to around whatever the quarterback's strengths are. I don't think there's a particular guy that is going to he's only the only one that can fit the system.
Right.
No,
So then maybe I'm keeping this too simple. So then just who do you think fits that the best? Just real simple answer.
Hold on. I that's the thing. As I just said, I don't think any quarterback fits it best. I think we have a lot of great minds that they're going to make that offense tailored around what that quarterback can do.
Okay.
That's why
I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying.
That's why I don't. That's also why I didn't buy this whole Frank Reich only works with big quarterbacks thing, because it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think you just take C.J. Stroud because he fits the mold of the Frank Reich guy. Because technically, if we're being honest, Will Levis fits the mold of the Frank Reich guy.
Yeah, which is why at one point I was kind of high on him.
It's one thing to say that you have to have a certain type of quarterback, but if you're insisting upon only having a big, strong quarterback and you're not able to fit your offense around other types of players, like, dude, look, Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive-minded coaches in all the NFL, and he has never had a big arm quarterback other than when he had maybe Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan had a good arm, not a great arm. So, the one thing I say about Bryce, and I'm not even saying this as a knock, y'all. I'm really not. He is going to be under shotgun like 90% of the time. And that's fine. But I think that's the way the NFL is going. I think that's probably already how they're building their offensive playbook. But you're going to want Bryce to have a little bit of cushion away from that offensive line. That's all I'm saying. By the way, everybody asking for the link. I'm only gonna do this for like 15 more minutes, and then I got some chores and some errands I got to do today. But every Friday we'll be doing this again. And by the way, tonight at 9 p.m., the longest running Panthers podcast on the internet. I see my man Tony in the chat room right now. Tonight at 9 for the C3 Panthers podcast. Me, Tony, CK, Greg will be wrapping it up, talking about everything.
Cody, you're bro. You think you're fucking slick, bro.
I am.
So what you did? I see what you did, bro. You filled this fucking chat with nothing but CJ Stroud fans on me and Anthony, dog, bro. You gotta send the link. You gotta send them a message for them to join. You can't even join through the fucking chat, bro.
What? Who did I send them?
Come on, bro. You think you slick? I got you though, Cody. I see how you operate, honestly.
And
I see how you operate, Cody.
When they had the opportunity, bro. I'm not
fucking
out here.
hilarious.
So we're all coming for you, G.
Yeah, you're surrounded, bro. What's up?
Guns blazing.
You're surrounded right now. What's up? Matt Corral, 220 pounds. What's up?
Yeah, pause. Ain't nobody worried about him, bro.
Yo, Matt Corral's 220 right
Ain't
now.
nobody worried about him.
Hey,
$2.20.
I gotta bounce, but I do want to say this real quick. Whoever the quarterback is, which I think it's going to be Bryce, they're going to be the best quarterback out of this draft class. You know why? Because they're going to the best situation in the top 10 of
Absolutely
quarterbacks that are going to fall. So whether or not everyone was saying, well, I'm worried this person's going to go here and ball out, you should be worried about the other teams playing us with our motherfucking quarterback, because we have the dream squad right here.
I hear that.
So, yeah, I'm going to bounce out, but hey, good
Anthony,
press
you're
conference.
the man, brother.
Good debate.
sir.
Good debate.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll see
man.
y'all,
Peace
boys.
and love, bro.
All right. Peace out.
Now G Baby's really surrounded. His Bryce Young ally just dipped on him.
But see, I guess this is. But here's my thing, Cody. Like I was just saying a minute ago. Like I'm not against Young. I just prefer Stroud. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all. It's like at this point, I feel like we're getting 1A or 1B here. Either way, I'm getting to 1, right, Cody? So I'm good with that.
Right. Hey, I have no problem with either of them. But to me, I'm looking more at Bryce. Like, I'm accepting it because I feel like he is going to be the pick. Bryce Young, I feel, is going to be the number 1 pick to the Carolina Panthers. I don't believe there's going to be a trade down.
2-3 years from now, when either one of these quarterbacks are balling out, we're going to forget this conversation. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like,
I mean, hopefully, shit.
I
Hey,
think you can
what
look at what we did at running back, and it'll tell you a lot about what we're
what
going to do.
what time is that 7:04 Charlotte Bound show, G?
Yeah, plug your stuff up, Ray.
I was gonna say we're going live tomorrow night. I believe he said it was 9:00, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we'll be doing the mock draft with I believe it's, who all is coming, Cody. I know it said it was a C3 and everything, but not 100% sure who's all make. Yeah, it's the tomorrow night at 9.
I haven't. Twan didn't reach out to me about tomorrow night. I don't know.
Maybe I read that wrong. Hold tight. Let me reread it.
No, you're good. Hey man, look, Peter Quint done found the link. This man scrolled all the way the fuck up and found the link to get in the show.
Yeah, it says. Can you still hear me, Cody? Yeah, it says.
Let's hear you shit on your QB, bro.
CJ Stroud is the best option. Roll Tide. Woo!
Yeah, I'm gonna check my text messages. I'll
I was gonna say it says we'll be battling the C3 podcast at 9 p.m. mock draft.
Okay, cool.
Who's that crying about? Hey, Cody, who's that crying about me? G baby. Get his passy here. Somebody get his passy. He needs a pacifier. He over here crying about Bryce Young, bro. Listen here. Let me tell you something. Listen to me and listen to me carefully. Bryce Young.
I can't listen to someone that shits on their own players, dog.
If we draft Bryce Young, you can expect a whole bunch of fumbles and strips from this man. He's nothing but a buck and some change, bro. Size does matter. It ain't about the motion in the ocean. It's about the boat, and that boat is fragile.
You're dumb as hell.
You understand me?
It takes a long time to get to England in a rowboat quick.
Hey, you from Bama?
No,
G?
my father is. I was raised one, my boy.
Did Bryce Young fuck your bitch or something, bro?
Yeah, bro, he's small.
He did a little something with your chick, G. I know hate when I see one, G.
Bro, y'all wild up.
We already know that popcorn,
Jay. He did a little something.
You got meanie me out there throwing the ball, bro. We don't want meanie me out there.
Bryce Young is a Christian. He probably a virgin, straight up.
Oh shit! So now he on life,
he's Alabama,
bro. Yeah, tweet that. Tweet that.
Hey, you already know one man's trash is another man's treasure, baby.
Yo, that man loves the Lord. What you
Drop that tweet, Cody. Drop that tweet, Cody.
That man loves the Lord. That man loves the Lord, man. He ain't messing with these dirty thoughts out here. What y'all mean?
He gonna be stripped and fun. It's gonna be strips and forced fumbles, bro. I'm telling you, with this man, bro. You can't sit here and say you and Bryce. Oh, let's draft Bryce. A lot of you guys only going for Bryce because a lot of other individuals told you to go for Bryce.
Jay,
that's true.
Jay, let me ask you that. Why do you feel, P? Why do you feel that he's gonna have such an issue with fumbles and strip sacks or whatever?
He is too small. Size does matter. The dude, listen here. You got these linebackers. You got DNs. He's not going to be able to run away like he was in it.
But here's my thing. I need stats to back that up quick. So please, somebody tell me, how many career fumbles has this man had?
Yeah, I mean,
I know the interceptions. I know the interceptions was 12 because it was like 7 and 5 or something like that. So tell me what the fumbles were.
This is my thing, though. We talk about.
I'm just confused. I'm gonna come to hold tight. So I'm gonna come to G Baby's side for a second, and I'll let you take it back quick. I'm just trying to understand how is an issue gonna all of a sudden arise? Like if this dude had a past, I would understand that, but he's just gonna all of a sudden have a fumbling issue. Like I'm confused.
This is coming from the fact of the matter that y'all don't understand. It's a lot of you guys are having a complex. There's a big difference between the NCAA and NFL.
So what? His hands get smaller when he goes to the NFL.
Let him finish. That's like the difference between high school and actually moving up to NCAA. Don't you know you got to get your feet wet in the NCAA to establish your name, then therefore get drafted? All right. So you make it to NCAA. Now it's time for you to get drafted. Now you in a whole nother league. This is not no peewee over here, bro, where you can be as small as he is and last in the NFL. There's going to be forced fumble because he's so small. He already have issues with gaining weight, bro. What do y'all not understand?
I mean, to go off of that, I mean, isn't he around the same size as Zay Flowers? I mean, I'm just seeing it.
That's wide receiver and quarterback. It's two different. That's two different positions.
Oh, I know that, but we're talking size, though. We're talking size.
So here's my
No, we're talking two
argument to
different
all of that.
Those two different positions.
So here's my argument to that. Quick, if we were talking about the NFL back when I was a kid, hey, bro, I wouldn't want to touch Bryce Young. But in the NFL we're playing in now, where they are
that's a good
very much protecting the quarterback and very much pretty much having them out there with a red jersey on, it doesn't scare me like it used to.
They're gonna throw the flag if you breathe on them the wrong way.
So now, Cody, and I feel like you were on the show when I said this. At the end of the day, that's why I don't shy away from small receivers anymore. I like Josh Downs. I like Zay Flowers and all that shit. Small receivers don't scare me anymore. You know why? Because you can go over the middle and you're not going to get decapitated anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. The middle is wide open. And
the NFL has changed, gentlemen.
I said this when Devonta Smith was coming out of Alabama because he was 170 pounds or whatever.
And they're saying he's going to get killed.
That guy creates separation. That's what matters. If you're able to do that, I don't care if you're a little bit undersized at the wide
They said the same
position.
shit about Deshaun Jackson. What was he, like 5'9", $170?
Yeah.
He couldn't touch him, though. He was so damn quick, you couldn't even get a hand on him.
That was a good point that you put up, Ray P. But see, this is the issue here at hand. That, mind you, no matter what this guy is going to do, you saying that you don't size is pretty much your whole point. Of the size doesn't matter in this league today. It actually does. This guy is a $120 and some change. He's not a big guy, bro. He's not going to be able to transition what he did in NCAA to the NFL. And you could thank Baker Mayfield for that observation. Now, mind you, y'all guys like to point out the whole fact that we had this offensive line is so great, right? But if that was the case, if that was so great, we had a short quarterback not too long ago. What was his name? Baker?
PJ Walker.
But see, here's my thing.
And Baker
just like
Mayfield,
you said, he's going to have fumbling
down.
issues, and I made the joke that this man's hands are going to shrink going to the NFL. Here's my next thing, Cody. Last time I checked, organizations have strength and conditioning coaches, right? Nutritionists, all that good stuff.
Yes, they do.
World class, right? I think Bryce would be fine in that aspect. So again, I feel like it's so funny.
Do you find out how many fumbles he has, G? Not to cut you off.
That's something. No, you're good. I would like to know that number myself.
Since he has so many motherfucking fumbles.
I don't know. Out of all the film I watched, the only fumble that I can remember him having was in the national championship game, or it might have been the SEC championship game against Georgia during his Heisman campaign. I remember he was running, and he had a damn good run, man. He was juking defenders out of their shoes, but the ball did hit the ground, and it ended up being the turnover. That's the only one I can remember off the top of my head. But Peter, you're an Alabama fan, so you're gonna have to tell us, man. Like, was it a real problem for him at Alabama, and are you just predicting it's going to be an issue once it gets to the NFL?
I'm predicting it's going to be an issue in the NFL.
Oh, so you Messiah now, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm a great Messiah.
Yeah, you Messiah now.
He got a crystal ball, bro, just like everybody else does.
G is deeply in love with Bryce. Oh my goodness.
The fucking truth.
That's
yeah,
a
you're
spirit
damn fucking right. This is simple math.
That's a spirit animal, bro. He has a Bryce Young totem in his closet. What you mean?
I need someone with a fucking brain, someone that can process well, man. I seen what a nigga look like with nothing but fucking muscles. I seen what that shit happens after a fucking decade. My favorite player of all time, Cam Newton. I seen what that shit athleticism. I think all that shit.
I don't think somebody brought up AR though.
And you know what? I think somebody brought that up on this show earlier.
Dude, AR, I want to get on the AR shit. AR did not do nothing close to what Cam Newton did in college, boys. Cam Newton won 2 national titles. What the fuck are we talking about?
He also won undefeated back-to-back years, G.
Like, come on, man.
That's not even
Are you serious right now? We're comparing AR, a wannabe fucking Cam Newton to Cam Newton? An MVP?
All right, let me stop everybody right quick. It's 1:30. I got some shit I got to do today. I'm gonna let everybody get their final point off, their final whatever the hell you got to say, man. Now is the time to say it because you ain't gotta go home, but everybody's got to get the fuck up out of here, bro. I'm gonna go with my man Chad. Chad, you've been on here, damn here the entire time, brother. I appreciate you. Give me some final words for the chat.
I think it's pretty clear. I do think it's Bryce. I will say I spoke about being all in on Bryce if he's our guy. One thing is I still question his size. It is a question mark. That's what a lot of guys have been saying in the NFL, or with his weight. But I think that he can be a productive quarterback in this league. I just want to say, like I've said before, I hope we're wrong about Anthony Richardson, because if that dude does blossom and he falls to Atlanta, we're gonna have some issues. That's just my honest opinion. I just hope we're wrong about him.
I can see it happening. Hey, I want to be on record with this. If Atlanta trades up to number 3 with the Cardinals and drafts Anthony Richardson, well, you heard it here first, man, because that's kind of what I think is going to happen. I hope it doesn't. And I'm not afraid. Look, I'm Panthers to the day I die. I ain't afraid of nobody. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised if that's what ends up happening on draft night. Let me go. My man Jay Issue. Jay, I appreciate you jumping on, bro. Tell me, give me some final words before we jump out of here, dog.
Hey, Cody, I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Shout out to the C3. A stagnant offense is no good, so I prefer Stroud. I'm not a Bryce hater, so I'm cool with Bryce. Keep pounding.
Yeah, dude, that's the perfect way to end it, man. That's absolutely perfect. Let me go to my guy, Sir Predictable. I appreciate you jumping on, dude.
Yeah, man. I ain't really got much. I can tell now half the fan base is gonna hate whatever we do. So just can't wait. Can't wait for the fucking chaos.
Hell yeah. I cannot wait as well. Let me go to Brandon Cawthon. Brandon, I appreciate you, man. Give me your final thoughts for the show.
Dude. I'm just thinking about the last couple years, dude. Like, we've been trying to swing for the fences with all these quarterbacks and trying to replace Cam and all of this nonsense to take a hero ball player, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, whenever you go hero ball, it ain't worked out for us, all right? So once you get in the league trying to do hero ball, it don't work out all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I need something consistent, something solid. I don't want to have to worry about it, none of that. So give me the most sure thing that I know can develop, that I know go throw the ball so we can win the game from the pocket and also run this ball. You feel what I'm saying? Let's do that so we can get to this championship instead of trying to swing for the fences once again so we can you know what I'm saying, being stuck in the same damn spot we've been in for 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like, just need somebody that can play the position. We don't need all that hoopla and all that. You know what I'm saying? We don't need all that right now. We just need somebody that's going to throw the ball, get it out, make a completion. Let's move down the field, score, and keep the ball rolling. You feel me? And that's what I'm at. That's just where I'm at.
All right.
Either way, we go be good. You know what I'm saying? Either way, we go be good.
Brandon has made his point known. No hero ball anymore. I like that. Next up, Petey Quick. Appreciate you joining, man.
Thanks, man.
Give me your final thoughts, brother.
I appreciate it, Cody. It was a pleasure to join your platform.
Yeah,
a representative of 704.
That's right.
Mind you, my last statement will be CJ Stroud, loud and proud, roll tide, and also to the gentleman who just spoke. Well, Bryce Young is perfect example of hero ball. So if he does join us, you can expect a lot of that going on. And I said what I said. CJ Stroud is the best option. Over and out.
All right. Loud and clear. 2 more people. G baby. Give me your final thoughts, my brother. And let him know. Let him know. What's up?
If y'all let people on the 704 show, I'll be there tomorrow, bro. That's all I got to fucking say, man.
Absolutely.
I got to hear Petey every week shit on the best thing that ever happened to fucking Alabama. That shit ain't gonna happen until the draft.
He ain't the best quarterback. What are you talking about?
Then speaking of the 704 Charlotte Bound Show, my brother Ray Pabone, I appreciate you, Ray. Tell them where they can find you and give me your final thoughts, man.
I was gonna say I'm gonna keep it simple and say you can literally find us everywhere. Obviously, mainly on YouTube, the 704 Charlotte Bound Show. So yes, appreciate it as always. Second time on here in just the last few days, and I'll definitely be coming back as much as you'll have me. It's an honor.
Absolutely,
I appreciate
man. Hey, you're welcome
it.
here, man. Anytime, dog.
Appreciate that for real. G baby, same thing. I'll send the invitation to you as well. You are welcome anytime.
Hey, you got
So
a
by all
Twitter handle,
means.
G?
I'll be honest with you. I have it just to follow athletes and shit. I don't really use it, but it's rpabone5115.
I bet.
So Pabon is my last name. So with that being said, my little spiel that I wanted to kind of make as quick as possible was the reason why I'm okay with Bryce, whereas if we were having this conversation a month ago, because I kept going on about his size, is the argument I literally just made. The NFL is different now. It doesn't matter if you're 6'5" or 5'5". Shout out Darren Sproles. You can still have a long career. Again, it's so that I'm gonna push that out the side because again, I love Cam. I'm a big Cam guy. 6'6", 250. Dude was a tank. Still got hurt though, didn't he, Cody?
Yeah, man, he did.
So,
he also,
but I'm just saying in general. I guess the main right, absolutely, and I'll always say we wasted a generational talent there. But with that being said, it's a gladiator sport. Players are going to get hurt. So just to sit here and say I guess I'm putting myself on blast right now to say, well, he's 5'10", he's going to get hurt. That's a little too. Just it doesn't make sense at this point. So with that being said, we need to be, and I'm gonna end it on a positive note. We need to be happy with either quarterback we get because it's an instant upgrade. It's a future that we can look forward to of hopefully getting back to winning and things of that nature and competing. So again, I think that's how we just need to look at this. At the end of the day, come draft night, we're going to be a better team. Plain and simple. And the NFC South is easily attainable this year. So we could build early, we could build fast for the future. So, we just got to look to the positive in all this here in the next week or so. But yes, you can catch us tomorrow night. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it is tomorrow night. We're doing the draft and all that stuff with C3. So if I'm wrong, then I think somebody said Friday.
Josh said he likes the C3 704 crossover. Well, Josh, you're going to get it again tomorrow night. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it over there on 704 Charlotte Bound Show with Twan and Ray and the boys. So that ought to be fun, man. Tune into that. I appreciate each and every single one of you that came on here, that watched the stream during the press conference. Thanks. And hey, man, C3 Panthers Podcast tonight at 9 p.m., man, the longest running Panther podcast in all the internet. Me, Tony, Greg, and CK, we're going to be shooting it up, talking about things tonight, talking about the press conference, what we expect going forward, all that good shit. Well, I have been your host, Cody Lashley, for another edition of the C3 Panthers Podcast. Until tonight at 9 p.m., keep pounding.